Hi, welcome to Grace Yoga Beginner Yoga Series 1. If this is your first time visiting me, this is a great series to start on if you're a beginner. So what we're going to need, if you have it available, would be a blanket, a strap, a block, and a bolster. So some substitute items that you can use would be a pillow, a belt, a throw, a rolled up towel. All right, so go ahead and get your stuff, get your yoga mat and your props, and let's have a good time doing some yoga together. Let's get started. And then let's go ahead and get started. We'll have a seat here. So this is an evening practice. I've already had my dinner, but we're going to talk about the breath. So as you're breathing in yoga, you want to have an ocean quality breath. So when you exhale, it's as if you're fogging up a mirror. It's a constriction in the back of the throat. And when you inhale, you want that same constriction. So let's practice that just a few times. So inhaling in through the nose with the mouth closed, with that ocean quality sound, and then exhale with that Darth Vader sound. And the reason that we do that, it creates almost like a balloon, a support within our bodies as we move through our postures that we wouldn't get otherwise if we didn't have the constriction. So it almost creates the pressure inside the body when you use that breath to support the posture. So it's important to keep that breath going through the practice. Now, if you get tired and you're like, I don't want to breathe like that anymore because maybe you're not used to it or it's just not comfortable, then stop for a little bit and then join back in when you feel ready. All right, so let's do 3 breaths like that. Darth Vader ocean breath. It's called Ujjayi breath in Sanskrit. Inhaling in through the nose, exhaling out. And inhaling in, exhaling out, softening the jaw. Notice where in your body you might be getting tense. Relax the shoulders, inhale in, and exhale out. Good. Now, you might notice some heat already being generated by that, because when you fog up the mirror, it's kind of warm, but that's all happening here. So we're going to roll the shoulders, inhale it up, roll the shoulders back and down. Inhaling up. Hey, Dragon Maiden, welcome! So glad you're here. Inhaling up, exhale down. And I see you got my Gracie bin. So I have some emotes that subscribers use, and Dragon Maiden just used one. Thank you, Dragon Maiden, for using Benji. Emote. All right, and then loosening from side to side. Yeah, streaming on Twitch has been just so amazing because just the interaction that we get with people and with you, and it's really a fun platform, I think, to do yoga on and to connect with others. So we're just moving from side to side gently, and then we're going to start to circle this. So if you can imagine your belly button had a little light and you're drawing a circle with the belly button. So on your sits bones, on your seat, it might be as if you're kind of rolling on a circle. So it doesn't have to be big. It can be subtle, or it can be much larger. And you can even get your head into this a little bit more. This is a great way that if you ever have stuck air in the belly, in the stomach, it helps to get it out. I've heard people, like even whenever I was at the bowling alley, one of my friends said, oh, like I can't bowl very well because I've got this air bubble stuck in my stomach. And I said, well, just try this. And she did that. And then of course she burped and then woo, she was good to go. So, all right, coming to stillness here, we're gonna place our right hand down. So we're gonna have some lateral stretches. So stretches on the side of the ribs. Inhale, the left arm up, the right hand is down. And I'm teaching mirror image. So in case you're wondering, I do try to mirror you. On your next exhale, we're gonna send the top hand down, planting that hand down. Inhale, the right hand up, right arm up, getting a lateral stretch in the side ribs on your right side. So here, I want to mention that it might be comfortable for you, exhale the top hand down, to have something as you're seated here, like maybe a rolled up blanket under the hips, lifting the hips up higher than the knees or than they would be if they were just on the mat. And that actually helps us to keep in a, I don't know if you can see, but kind of we don't want to be rounding in the back. So it does make it easier if we have our sits bones on something higher. So if you can feel like the bones as you sit down. So I'm kind of wedging my fingers underneath my hips and I can feel the bones there. So those are called sits bones. And if we can keep our pelvis in a neutral position, so we don't want to round in the lower back and we don't want to have it overly arched, we just want it nice and neutral and comfortable. And so if we're sitting straight on the floor, sometimes it makes it hard to have that neutral pelvis, the neutral seat. All right, so in this beginner yoga class, we're just gonna go over a few poses and we'll get into some standing poses, which is why I have the camera back just a little bit further. And I'm so excited to be getting my second camera in because that way when I'm seated, we could be, closer together. And then when I stand up, I can switch it and we can go up higher. All right. When I say that, I mean like stand up. All right, so we're gonna come to hands and knees. So this is where it's really nice to have a blanket underneath the knees. Your toes can be pointed, or if it's more comfortable for you, you can have them curled under. The wrists, the creases of the wrists are parallel with the front of your mat. Your fingers here, anytime your hands and palms are on the mat, you want your fingers spread nice and wide. You want to put pressure on your fingers and your thumb so it takes some of the pressure off of the wrist. So it's a more balanced, weight on the hands, and it's not just all collapsing into the wrist. And of course, if your wrists do get tired, it's an option to come up onto the knuckles here. All right, so here we want to do cat-cow. So I feel like I do need to take my jacket off so I can demo correctly or better. And we're gonna start to warm up the body anyways. All right, so coming with the wrists underneath shoulders, knees underneath the hips. We're gonna inhale, begin to sink the belly down toward the mat. And then as you exhale, you're gonna slightly tuck the pelvis under and tuck the chin in. So it's not so much about opening in the back of the upper heart, because you could press up here and be really stretch that, but we also want to include this lower part. So imagine if you can, just lower your torso, your chest between your shoulders, pressing up and down. So you want to be kind of in the middle of this. You don't want it sink too low and you don't want it pressed too high up. You want it right kind of like right in the middle, easy. On your next exhale, go ahead and begin to tuck the tailbone under. Gently tuck the chin toward the chest. Inhale, imagine the tailbone were pointing out toward the wall behind you, not up toward the sky. We don't want to overdo it here. We're just now getting into this pose, so we want to ease our way into it. Good job. You're doing great. So we're flexing the spine forward and back. So we got into some lateral bends earlier, which is side to side. And we're getting into flexation of the spine forward and back here. So yoga includes all the different ways that we can articulate our spine. There's one other way, which is a twist. Good job. All right, tucking our toes under, preparing for our first down dog of the practice. Real quickly, before we press our hips up, we want our wrists to be, once we do come up, we want them to be at a 45-degree angle with neutral wrists. So when we're up on our down dog, we don't want all the pressure to be up here. We want this 45-degree angle or thereabouts. Everybody's body's different in our down dog. And our knees can be bent just as much as you need to make that happen. All right? Deep breath here. And as you exhale, press the toes into the floor, lift the hips, keep the knees bent just as much as you need. And it's better to have bent knees than to compromise and have our shoulders come over our wrists. So we don't want that. We want our shoulders back, bending the knees here. And eventually, the backs of the heels may come to the mat. It took me a really long time to get there. So my heels were away from the mat for a long time on me, and that's okay. Everybody's different. We're gonna walk the knees back and forth. You may have heard this called walking the dog. Take your attention to your hands. Press your fingers and your thumbs into the mat as well as your palms. Don't let all the pressure go straight on the wrists. All right, we're gonna walk all the way to the front. So finding stillness with the heels and then walk all the way to the front of the mat till we meet here at the front in forward fold. We're going to shake the head from side to side. And then we're going to bring the head to midline and nod the head yes. Yes, I am ready. I am ready for yoga. All right. We're going to bring our palms up onto shins, knees, or thighs, and inhale, pressing ourselves up to halfway up. Good job. So this halfway up, we want to really encourage the low back muscles to work here. So it's almost as if you're holding a weight here and you're on one of those machines at the gym that you do those back extensions. So we want those muscles on the back extension workout machine. We want those muscles to be activated here. And that's why we want to use the support of our hands. I see a lot of teachers guide this pose with the fingertips on the floor, but I feel like that's not a good modification. It wasn't for me anyways. But wherever you're at, if you're here, that's fine too. Don't worry about it. You're good. I just want to make sure to include everyone and have a modification available here. Breathing, exhale, forward fold, bending your knees, sinking your hips. You're going to inhale your arms out to the side and you're going to come up with a flat back. So take a deep breath here and then we're going to actually exhale with that ocean breath. Create that vacuum in the body. Palms touch, exhale, hands at heart center. I don't know if vacuum is actually the right word. It might be more like a pressure because you don't want to be like an empty balloon. You want to be like a full balloon that creates a lot of strength and integrity inside the body. All right. Bringing hands to heart center. We're going to step back with our right foot. So you can step back just as far as you like. I'm going to bend into the front knee. So make sure your heels are in one line here on one balance beam, not offset, in one line. Excuse me, my voice just cracked. Whoops. We're going to inhale our left arm forward, right arm back. And for more of a challenge, the feet will be further apart. And you can have this thigh as close to parallel to the floor or parallel as you would like. You just want to make sure the knee doesn't go over the toes, and that when you look down at your front foot, that you're seeing your big toe on the inside of this knee. So if your knee tries to drop inward, that's a sign. Press it out. Remember a nice neutral pelvis here. We don't want it sticking out too far or the tailbone tucked under. We want nice neutral. Shoulders are relaxing away from the ears. Good. And having a shorter stance is just fine. At any time in this warrior pose, you're welcome to exhale the arms up, straighten the front leg, and take a breath here just for a break. And then come back whenever you're ready. Our gaze is also important in these poses. Hey, that's good. I would love to have seen your flamingo. Inhaling up, exhaling down. So this is just an option here. And then we're going to straighten the front leg. Bring the hands down, if you'd like, to the waist. We're going to step up, bringing the heels just closer together, but keeping them on that line, that same line, like a balance beam. If you look from front to back, they should be on the same plane this way. And then we're going to practice triangles. So this is where blocks may come in handy. If you have one, you may want to grab one real quick, and I'll demo with a block. So here in triangle, you want your front toes, so this left foot, the toes pointed out toward the side. On the back foot, however, it's best to have those toes angled in, so not out to the side, so not out like at a 90 degree toward the screen. You're gonna bring those toes in just a bit. And if it hurts to have it that way, listen to your body and go to what angle feels best for you on that back foot. You'll want to feel the outside edge of the back foot pressing into the mat, the ball of the big toe pressing into the mat. And then on your front foot, you want those arches lifting. And bringing arms to parallel. We're going to shift the hips backward to the right, reach toward the left, toward the front, and then let the front hand come down, the back arm come up as we meet in triangle pose. So triangle, you want your arms to stay kind of like a T here. But you don't want your spine to curve. It's best to keep a straight line between the center of the pelvis to the throat. And so to do that, you can either have your arm out, chest is lifted, exhale with that ocean breath to give yourself that integrity in the posture. Yeah. And then maybe coming down, bringing the hand to the block. Now, if your arm is in one line with the T, that's okay. It's best to just try not to round the spine or curve the spine down toward the floor. You want to keep lifted up. Have a slight soft bend in that front knee. And you might feel the blood rushing down that hand, the top hand. And then on your next exhale, bend even more into that front knee. Draw the navel in toward the spine as you exhale, the hands parallel, bringing hands to waist. We're going to turn the toes forward and then turn out the right toes out toward the right. And then slightly angle the back toes in. So not pointed straight at the screen, but inward. And bending into the front knee. So now we're going to practice warrior on this other side. So you can step out a little bit further, go to your own edge here, your personal edge. And when I say edge, I don't mean that it should be like super hard or anything like that. Wow, I just spit, sorry. Sorry. Yeah, I might have done that in a live class once or twice. So what was I saying? Oh yeah. So we don't want, like, our edge is not where it's like super hard, and it's not where it's super easy either. It's right in the middle, somewhere right in the middle for you. Breathe with that ocean breath. Remember, you can straighten the leg, inhaling the arms up. I'll demo here if you would like for just a break. And coming back down. Just checking in, just a reminder on this side, look down at your big toe, your right big toe. Make sure it's on the inside of your right knee. Yeah. Yeah, because if your knee starts to fall in, that's what you start to lose integrity of the pose here. So you want to keep that going. Good. All right, and we will sync this with our breath, exhaling, lifting the arms, straightening the front leg, the right leg, inhaling back. Exhaling, raising the arms, straightening the leg. Resisting gravity as you come back into warrior two. Good. Moving your arms as if you're moving them through something really thick, like honey, molasses. All right. Bringing hands to waist, straightening the front leg, stepping back with the the back foot, so that left foot comes a little bit closer in. Deep inhale, and then we're going to exhale our arms back to parallel to the floor, shifting our hips over to the left, reaching toward the right, like you're trying to reach for something in the back of a shelf. Deep inhale, and then exhale, we're going to turn the arms. So gaze is forward. You're doing an awesome job. Maybe grabbing a block and using that here. And remembering to keep the straight spine, just as long as you're not curving over like this. Your arm can be out so that your arms are more like in a T with the body. Or you can bring the right arm down onto the block. So this one on me, and yours may be different, but this one I really have to be aware that I don't lock this knee out. So it's okay to have a slight micro bend in the front knee. Breathe with that ocean quality breath. Good job. Deep breath, and on your next exhale, we're going to bend into the right knee. Draw the navel into the spine as we bring our arms up. Are your arms tired? Mine are a little bit. It's all right. We take this one pose at a time, one breath at a time. All right, we're going to turn our toes back toward the front, and we're going to heel toe our feet together. All right. There is one other pose. So we went through warrior two, triangle, and we did some cat-cow at the beginning. There's one other pose that I want to demonstrate together, and you can practice with me, is chair pose. Deep inhale here. We're going to have an exhale it out. As you exhale, press your feet into the floor. You'll want to have about hip width distance apart between the ankles. So just imagine your two fists together here between the ankles. And ankles, hips, shoulders in one line, and you can have a slight soft bend in the knee. We're going to inhale the arms up. Relax your shoulders away from the ears. Deep inhale. And then on your next exhale, bend the knees, sink the hips back, just going as far as you'd like. And breathe. Coming out of it, straightening the legs. Exhale. Sinking into chair pose, inhaling up. Keeping your shoulders soft. Keeping the constriction in the throat on both inhales and exhales. And on this next time, you can keep pulsing, or we can sink back into chair for a few breaths. Really important here to keep your breath with that ocean quality, because it creates that support from the inside. Without that type of breathing, you're using the back of your head, your back, your glutes, hamstrings and calves to hold this pose. But if you use that breath, you're holding this pose from the inside. And as you do that and practice that pose more, exhale out of it and release the hands down. Good. All right, we're going to go ahead and take it down to the floor. All right, if you have a strap, go ahead and grab one. As you practice chair pose, any pose, but chair pose in particular, you'll be able to tell that that pose is more accessible, you have more like power to do that pose when you use your breath. Because it's almost like having a balloon of support inside the body when you exhale slowly and inhale in. And your throat might be kind of warm, because mine is too. All right, so there is one pose. Let's see, so we'll use the bolsters at the end in Shavasana. Go ahead and grab your strap. We're gonna roll on down. We're gonna work on some abs. And all right, so now with abs, go ahead and place like your hands in a triangle here, and place, like connect with the front of your pelvis on the sides, like the hip bones here on the sides, and then the very top of the pubic bones. So imagine it's just like 3 points there. And we're gonna exhale, flatten the back, the lower back onto the floor. And then we're gonna tip our pelvis up so that our tailbone is pointing up toward our knees. Not quite, but in that direction. And then exhale, point the tailbone down toward the wall. And then not arching the back too much, but just notice how this triangle moves, where the pelvic bones tilt up, the pubic bone is down. That's an arched back. And when you bring the pubic bone up, the pelvic bone's down, that's the flat of the back is on the floor. Now we want somewhere right in the middle that feels neutral, so that our sacrum, which is right above our tailbone, is resting on the floor. If you need a blanket to be laying on a blanket for extra support, you're free to go grab one and add some comfort and support here. All right, so the ankles are a little further away from the knees, not much, maybe just about under the knees, but not like super close to the glutes. So when I'm a little bit out. All right, find neutral spine. So not overarched, not a flat back. So you want to have a bit, just a tiny bit of space behind the low back here. You can keep your hands placed on your abdomen, or you can place your hands down on the floor for additional support here. Tuck the shoulder blades under the body if you do so, and just notice how that opens the heart to the sky. Now, without moving the pelvis, without tilting it forward or back, keep it stable where it's at. Inhale here, and then exhale, draw the right leg up on your exhale, bringing that calf up parallel to the floor. Inhale, exhale, lower down. And you're doing this without moving the pelvis. Inhale, and exhale, draw the opposite leg up so that the calf becomes parallel with the floor. And inhale down, or inhale and exhale down. All right. Now we're going to be exhaling on when we lift the legs up and inhale when we release the legs down. So deep breath to prepare and exhale. Right knee comes up. Inhale, right leg down. Exhale, left knee comes up. Inhale down. Now really focus on keeping the pelvis still. Exhale, right leg up. Inhale down. The slower you move, the more you might start to feel some shakes here in the lower abdomen. Focus. Yeah, connect with that little shake. If you need, if you're more advanced here, you're welcome to extend the legs out a little bit longer until you feel that little shake. Ah, can you hear my voice shaking? That's why it's so awesome. Breathe and exhale. Exhale. I'm calling this yoga latte. Why? Because it's Pilates exercises here. And it's with yoga. With the yogic breathing. Yoga latte. And if you would like to stay here, you can, or on your next inhale down, you'll lift the right leg up or the opposite leg up. And just switch this with your breath. If you start to feel this in the low back, return back to the original movements where you only lift one leg at a time. Keep that pelvis neutral. Good job. Shake. All right. Draw both knees in toward the chest. Good job. That was Pilates ab work. Yeah, you didn't know you were going to get Pilates tonight, did you? No. You're doing good. All right. So we're going to add another Pilates. It'd be fun. All right. So you can have your legs up here. This is going to be how I'm going to demonstrate. Or if that's too much, you can bring your feet down to the mat and go from side to side. So we're going to be shifting our knees between, if you imagine a clock, like the top half of a clock, where 12 o'clock's here, 10 o'clock's over here, 2 o'clock's over here. You're going to be shifting your knees between 2 o'clock and 10 o'clock, or your degree of, middle challenge, your edge. So don't go past your safe edge here. All right, so I'm going to demo with my knees in the air, keeping your pelvis in neutral alignment. Deep breath here. Exhale the knees over to 2 o'clock toward the screen or other way, wherever you're aligned. And then you're going to want to press that right or the same side that your knees are going into the floor and exhale back to center. Inhale to the other side. And as you do this, you'll want to press the same side hand into the mat. You'll want to feel the opposite side ribs pressing into the mat as well. So as you move your knees one direction, your opposite side ribs will want to come off. You want to try to keep those down on the floor. And you'll want to exhale every time you bring your legs back to center. Inhale the knees out to the side. Exhale, bring them back in. All right, so let's do this. Deep inhale, shift the knees over to one side. Exhale back to center. Inhale to the other side. Exhale back to center. Inhale to the other side. Slowly exhale out to the center, sorry. And then exhale. I'm laughing because my voice is shaking so bad when I do this. But it's such an amazing workout. Knees back to center. Good. So you can stay here if you like, or Inhale out, straighten the legs. Exhale the feet back to center, bend the knees back to tabletop. Inhale out to the other side, straighten the legs. Exhale, draw those feet back, bend the knees. Inhale out, straighten. Exhale, draw the feet back. Bend the knees. Inhale, send the knees to the other side, straighten. Exhale, draw the feet back in. All right, we'll continue this. You don't have to straighten the legs if it's hurting your low back. Just go back to original posture, position. One more on each side. When you finish on your left side, then we will bring one knee down, hug the other knee into the chest, make small circles with that knee, getting into the hip and hip flexor. Release the leg down, draw the other leg into the foot. You're doing so awesome. Great job today. You did so good. Circle the knee the other way, hugging both knees into the chest. And then extend one leg long if that's comfortable for you. Deep breath. On your next exhale, we'll send the opposite leg out, draw the extended leg in toward the chest. Good job. And we're going to get into twisting here. So we're just about done. We're going to add a twist because we did lateral side bends with the spine. We did flexation, forward and back. And now we're going to get into twists. So here, you can send your right leg up to the sky, having the ball of your foot in the strap. You want to keep both feet flexed. Take the strap into your left hand. Right arm goes out by your side like a T. Deep breath. As you exhale, you're going to draw that foot across the body, only going as far as you're comfortable. You can even take that foot all the way down to the floor. You'll stack the hips. Semi-stack the hips, only go to your edge, and my edge is inhibited by my sound, whatever, the receiver, so I'm taking that out of my pocket. And we take our gaze toward the opposite side that our leg is going. Good. I'm so glad that you're here. It's been a treat to have you. I hope that you come back. And these classes that I'm leading, they are full yoga classes. All right, we're going to switch to the other leg. So drawing that right leg back to midline, switching to the left leg, extending the right leg out long, taking the strap into your right hand. Left arm goes out by your side like a T. Deep breath and exhale. Keeping both feet flexed, pressing through both heels, slowly moving into this gentle twist. So only going as far as you feel comfortable going today. Yeah, what I was saying is that, yeah, these are full yoga classes and they're free, they're free. And so tell your friends, tell them to come join me. I'd love to have them. Mondays, we do beginner classes here on Twitch, and this week I'm doing a beginner class on YouTube on Wednesday. So you're going to take your gaze to the opposite side of your foot. So if your foot is out toward the left, you want your gaze out to the right and vice versa. On your next exhale, draw your foot back up to midline. And then we're gonna take both feet up if it's comfortable. You can also, if you're near like a chair or a couch, you can place your calves on the couch. It's an option if having your feet straight up is not very comfortable. So we're just doing this to encourage the lymph to move. So we want our lymphatic system to move. It's a waste elimination system and it can get stagnant, you know, there can be lymphatic backup. Jumping on those little trampolines or jump roping is amazing for lymph. But so is this, so is doing yoga and taking your hand and just lightly gliding it. I don't know if you've ever gotten a lymphatic massage, but it's just like, they barely touch you, it seems. They're just like boop, boop, poop, poop. I don't know. But I had gotten, like part of a massage was lymphatic massage, and it was just like, I was like, why are you tapping my fat? But that's what they were doing, because it's just below the skin, and it doesn't take much for it to move. So jump rope and trampoline, which I have neither of those right now. Of course, I guess I could use a strap for that. All right, we're gonna bend the knees, remove the strap to the side, and then this is where the bolster is gonna come in handy. So you can grab or a pillow or a rolled up blanket, and you're gonna place it underneath the knees here. This is gonna help reduce arching in the back. And then you'll have your arms out to your sides at about a 45-degree angle with the palms up, and really tuck those shoulder blades underneath the body. And notice how the shoulders, here, I feel like you can just melt. Taking a deep breath in through the nose. Fill up the ribs and belly. Exhale out the mouth, sighing that out. And just notice how the body responds to that. Isn't that amazing? Do it again. Inhale in through the nose and sigh it out. Let the head become heavy. The shoulders, hips all become heavy. Scan the body here for just a moment. So if there's any aches or pains that you're feeling, you can get even more support under the body, perhaps more blankets. You can go lay down on the couch or on the bed or whatever and just be super comfortable. Or you can sit up. You can totally sit up, just be comfortable. We're gonna stay here for a few breaths, observe our breath. So start to tune into your natural breath here. Jumping jacks, perfect. Yep, you can do jumping jacks. I could do that too. Jumping jacks and flamingo yoga. I'd love to see that. You need to record that and share it with me, because I would love to see it. Yeah, it's so awesome how you can just take one deep breath and sigh it out, and just notice how the body starts to melt into the floor. How one breath can change everything. Or how things can change in one breath. Oh, I'm getting philosophical. All right, so the mind's gonna start to think and wonder, and as it does, just bring your awareness back to your natural breath without controlling it, just observing it. Let the arms feel heavy, the hips and legs and heels, as if they have weights over them, like you have a weighted blanket on your whole body of the perfect pressure, nothing too heavy, nothing too light. And think of an intention for yourself, something that you want to achieve in your life or see manifest in your life. Achieve may not be the right word, but it's your deepest and your most heartfelt desire, something like a gift for yourself. It's a short, positive statement said in the present tense. So just look deep inside your heart and look and feel what would bring you the most joy. How about, here's an example. I am valuable. And then think of your own intention. Just take a few moments here. Think of one. You can use that example if you like. Or you can pick any other one. Continue, as your thoughts begin to wander, to bring your awareness back to your breath. So be thinking of your intention. And if you start to think of anything else, bring your awareness back to your breath. And then settle on an intention that you want to use. And now draw up a sense of just optimism. Imagine that you're living your deepest and most heartfelt desire right now. And what would that feel like? What would it be like? What would your life be like? And imagine that it's happening now. And then say it in your mind, that statement, the short positive statement, say it in your mind 3 times. Now let your intention go, and for the next few moments, just take your awareness to your breath if your mind begins to wander away. Dropping into a deep sense of relaxation and peace. Bring your intention back to your awareness and say your intention 3 times once again in your mind. Now take in a deep, controlled breath. Begin to stretch the body. Maybe drawing the knees into the chest or just bending them up. You can keep your eyes closed if you like, or gently flutter them open. And when you're ready to sit up, you'll roll over first to one side and then press yourself all the way up into seated. Maybe rubbing your palms together, generating heat, covering the eyes. Taking in a deep inhale and then exhale slowly. Fluttering the eyes open behind the hands and releasing the palms away, letting light filter in. Thank you for your time today. The divine light and the divine grace that is in me recognizes and is honored by the divine light and the divine grace that is absolutely in you Namaste.